Fabrizio Romano has dropped the latest news on Marcus Rashford and the transfer situation, as well as David Ornstein. And we're going to get straight into this one as Aston Villa look like they're about to pull off an incredible loan deal and some more interesting news coming off this loan deal as well. So make sure you stay tuned for this so you don't miss any of the news. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Smash the like button as well and get in the comments. Does Marcus Rashford excite you as a player? Do you think Unai Emery can get the best out of him? And how do you see him utilised? Because I'm telling you now, this is one interesting story that has come out of nowhere. Marcus Rashford has basically, for the whole of January, been ousted by his manager, Ruben Amorim, who's basically said, this guy doesn't train hard. He's a bit of a waste of space. He doesn't want him. And Rashford and his PR team have basically been going around the block trying to find Rashford a club. Whether it's been Barcelona, whether it's been PSG, whether it's been Juventus. And all these situations have fallen short because essentially the money and their valuations haven't been right. However, out of nowhere, Aston Villa Football Club have come in out of the blue and said, hey, we're here. And let's see this story breaking today then from Fabrizio Romano. It says this, Marcus Rashford and Aston Villa deal close as negotiations are now progressing to the final stages. Loan move until June, salary covered, and discussions ongoing about buy clause. Rashford has also spoken to Unai Emery. He's aware of Aston Villa's desire to get him. So let's just break this down even further. Loan move until June, the salary covered, and then a buy clause. And I want to know exactly that part for me, though. That is the key transaction for me. What is Marcus Rashford's buy clause? What are we looking to do if this guy is successful at Aston Villa? What are we going to do in terms of buying this guy? And I want to know what price straight away would you put on Marcus Rashford? What price would you say he is worth? Because that is something we need to be discussing further. Another thing that I found very interesting about Marcus Rashford is a wry smile. I'll be honest, it is something that really did make me, raise an eyebrow. I'm just going to get the thing up here now, which is this. It says this, and this is from Ornstein. The chance to play in the Champions League is an appeal for Marcus Rashford. Now, when you really deep that, okay, to play in the Champions League, he must have had maybe a few other suitors in Europe who aren't playing Champions League football, who aren't in that competition, who may be in the same level as Manchester United in your Europa League and the Spurs of these worlds. But that, for me, again, just puts a wry smile on my face. And why I always say Aston Villa must continue to push every season to try and hit the top four or get Champions League football by any means how. Because the way it can attract and pull players is another example there. You're going to hopefully see it with a João Felix. You're going to see it with a Rashford. You're going to see it with all these big ballers. But they want to come to us because of the competition and pedigree of our club. So I personally think that this deal is now looking like a move that would work for us. I personally believe Unai Emery is a man of magic, a man who is great at man management, and that he can really solidify and mould someone and give them the best platform to succeed. Marcus Rashford, no doubt about it, once came onto the scene as a real big talent, a real big flurry. There was something raw about him. Wasn't exactly a finished footballer, wasn't exactly someone who looked classy as they dribbled, but there was an instinct about him. Someone who could change the game in a flash of a moment. Someone who had an eye for goal. But Rashford of the last couple of years has really found form difficult. And I think the biggest problem with that is Manchester United not utilising him in one position. Rashford's played on the right, down the middle, on the left. And really, a player like Rashford, it reminds me of an Ollie Watkins, I would say. Someone who needs a lot of love. Someone who needs to be told that they are going to be starting. Someone who needs to be told that, hey, we can get the best out of you. And I think that if Rashford is to take this move to Aston Villa, I think we would have to be guaranteeing him in part of the conviction of coming to sign for us a lot of game time. Because no way is Rashford coming on loan to sit on the bench. And that is something, again, that I really want to sort of exaggerate. I cannot see Rashford coming to us just to do exactly the same role that he has for Manchester United. So in essence, where will Rashford feature? Where will Marcus Rashford play for Aston Villa? Well, for me, it's quite simple. It's off that left-hand side. It is now going to be what I would say a good rotation option with Jacob Ramsey. And all of a sudden, Aston Villa can end January with two right wingers in Leon Bailey and Donyell Marlin, and two left wingers in Rashford and Jacob Ramsey, with Morgan Rogers and John McGinn and maybe one other in that number 10 behind Ollie Watkins. We know then that if shit hits the fan and Watkins gets injured, the potential of having Marcus Rashford playing as a number 9 is also then available to us, as is Mallon. So I think that's what Villa are looking at. We have looked now to bring in two wide forwards this window, in Mallon and now Rashford, who can play across the front three with ease and can play and be a little bit more versatile. But I want to see Marcus Rashford being thrown down the gauntlet and saying, hey, I'm going to be the left winger for this team. And what I love about this now is that it gives Jacob Ramsey real competition, because I'll be honest, Jacob Ramsey knows and has done for the last season or two that he walks straight into that left wing position when he's fit. Because quite frankly, we've never had the competition there. We've had, the likes of John McGinn have to go out and do a job there. We've had Morgan Rogers go and fulfill a role out there. And as soon as Ramsey's back fit, Unai puts him in the side. But him and Marcus Rashford are very much similar profiles. Strong ball carriers, a lot of speed, a lot of uncertainty that can unthrow defences. But they both lack that clinical edge. And that's probably where Marcus Rashford now, for me, can show his class and worth. Finding the back of the net, bringing up his goals and assists, showing the world again that really it's Manchester United, not a Marcus Rashford problem. That's probably where I'm going to sort of summarise and round up here. You have to look at this situation with Rashford. Quite frankly, is it genuinely the player, his attitude, his ego, his thought process, his ability to play, his approach to training, or is it the entity that surrounds him and the toxic environment of Manchester United? Because all you have to do is look at Jadon Sancho, and where he went to Manchester United, had a torrid time, he leaves, he flourishes. So we have to be careful not to just say Rashford has an attitude problem, Rashford has an ego, Rashford has this. Because we need to give him a chance now. We need to give him a real chance. And this is my message to Villa fans with Marcus Rashford. Let's give him a chance. It's a loan option. Let's see how hungry he is to rediscover his form. Let's see how hungry he is to try and break back into the England international setup under Thomas Tuchel. Let's see if Unai Emery can get the best out of this guy. And I promise you, I think my gut feeling right now is we can get the best out of Rashford. That our environment at Aston Villa is suited to a player of his needs. And I think Manchester United have sort of washed their hands of him. He's washed their hands of him. There's been no party trying to bring them together. So Rashford's just been ousted. We'd love to know your thoughts on the Marcus Rashford situation. As I said, smash a like, get in the comment section. I want to hear from you guys. And I'll see you all later for the Wolves game. Ta